Hello and welcome to the CFS Software LP3 LMS training. My name is Damien, and in this video training we will cover the RAISE analysis report. The RAISE analysis report is important because one way to grow your business is by adding new customers. And the second, also very important way to grow your business is by renewing or refinancing existing customers to new loans when possible. The RAISE analysis allows quick review of all current loan customers, statuses, payments, history, and many other details in one place. This can be extremely helpful in quickly evaluating if the customer qualifies for a higher loan amount and they haven't been given one yet. Loan customers may be willing to come in and refinance their loans for the higher amounts, and this is very important for continued growth. In this video, we will focus on the functionalities of the RAISE analysis report, how to use it to find customers that might be eligible for loan amount raises. So to access the RAISE analysis report, click on Reports, Management Reports, RAISE Analysis. RAISE Analysis is actually 3 reports in one. The first report is the RAISE List Options. The second report is Date Last Loan Amount Raised Options. And then the third is High Credit Action Options. So we'll start with the first, RAISE List Options. If you run the report by default, it's going to show you all of your customers. So this particular branch has 887 active accounts at this time. It shows alphabetically all customers, their account number, how many total loans they've renewed at, the last date they took a loan, the amount they financed, and the term in months, and how many times they've refinanced that particular loan amount. High credit is the most that they can take out at any given time. So if they have a higher credit than the amount financed, they're eligible maybe to take out a higher amount. Renew high credit if they need to pay to renew or they receive money to renew on their loan, their delinquency status, and then the last history of the last 12 payments. So if they're currently current, when they were current, if they're a 1 month or 2 monther, the R is for the last time that they renewed or refinanced their loan. So at first, this report gives you everything. Say we want to start narrowing down the report. One of the first options is delinquency. Well, we want to see everybody who's current first. So right now we have 887 people. Let me go ahead and take this to current. So everybody who's current. Maybe you don't want 3 or 4 or 5 month delinquent accounts to renew or refinance. So you won't be able to raise them. So let's go ahead and run and find all the current customers. It takes it down to 614. So you have 614 customers, but that still doesn't narrow it down to people who might be able to get loans. So let's say the minimum number of consecutive payments. So say you renewed somebody to a new loan and your requirement for your business is they need to make 3 consecutive payments at least to qualify to renew or refinance their loan. So let's go ahead and put it on 3 consecutive payments and everybody who's current, and let's run the report. It went from 600 down to 296 people. So you might want to narrow it down further and that they have had a minimum number of loans, which here you see 1, 2, 3, say minimum number of loans. Maybe they've had 4 minimum number of refinanced loans or new loans. So let's go ahead and run that too for currents, a minimum of 4 and 3 consecutive payments. So again, it goes down to 237 people. So we could take it to the amount financed. If you click on any of the column titles, it will resort the column from highest to lowest. So we have amount financed of $400. They have a high credit of $1,200. Well, this person could possibly renew and get more money. This is one way of finding customers who you can raise. Let's go ahead and reverse order, and these are the highest loans. So maybe you want to sort by amount financed of, say, anybody who's in the $400 to the $800 range. So we've got current, we've got minimum number of loans 4. They've made 3 consecutive payments, and we're going to do amount finance from 400 to 800. So let's go ahead and look at that. And now it's down to 51 people. So from there, you can sort their loan date. You can sort their amount financed. You can sort the high credit, which is the most they can take out right now. And you can see the differences between the people who are on a lower amount right now they financed, and the high credit, which is the most they could take out. You can narrow it down even further. Maybe let's take it out to like 7 payments since they renewed last. So let's run that. So here we've narrowed down to 8 people who have made 7 payments since they renewed last. We have a customer right here that amount financed of $800. They now have a high credit of $1,000. You can see payment history. All these people are current, and they have had a minimum. Let's go ahead and take it out maybe to 6 number of loans that they've refinanced. So you narrow this down a little further. Okay, so now we have 6 people who are current. They have a minimum of 6 loans that they've refinanced. They have 7 consecutive payments since the last time that they renewed their loan. So all of these people could be considered for increasing their high credit from $800 to $1,000, $1,200, $1,400, $1,600, whatever your company policy is. You can evaluate these particular customers, go into the customer accounts, see if they might be eligible for a high credit increase because they've paid well and it's been a long time since they have upgraded. So this is one way you can just narrow down anything and everything you can think of for a customer to qualify for a possible credit increase. So this is the first report. This is the raise list options under raise analysis. This allows anything and everything. Now the second report focuses on date the last loan amount was raised. Let's go ahead and run it by default with all selections as default. The previous report was just based on number of payments, but this report, you'll notice it does not have number of consecutive payments because it's based on the last time the customer had the last loan amount raised. So this is based on the date they took the last loan amount raised. So some of these customers might be as far back, and let's go ahead, and this particular customer, they haven't raised since 2015. So this might be a customer based on how long ago they took their last loan amount raised. A lot of these customers aren't on the highest amounts, so it's been a long time since they've renewed to a higher amount. And then based on this raised date, they took their raise, but they may have higher credit, or you may want to increase their higher credit to a higher amount. And this allows you to go by the last time they took a higher amount. So this is based on the date. Has everything that the top has. You can sort by account number, you can sort by loan number, you can sort by loan date. So this gives a way of narrowing down customers based on, let's see, go ahead and take this down to currents, and then minimum number of loans, maybe 5, and run report. And then you'll continue to narrow down customers until you find customers based on your criteria for finding them for higher credit amounts that they can then raise the customer to the higher amount. A couple other options on the first and the second card or reports are exclude accounts with late fees. So if any of these accounts have a late fee, you can then run the report, and it will show you all accounts that based on the criteria that don't have a late fee. Additionally, if you want to see accounts, the amount financed is the amount they took out on their loan. The high credit could be higher or it could be lower depending on if they've made payments on time. If they've made payments on time, their high credit's higher, and it could be higher than the amount financed. Let's say you want to see if the high credit is greater than the amount financed only. So we'll go ahead and choose only high credit greater than amount financed. Let's run the report. And then we have 172 where the high credit is greater than the amount financed. So all of these accounts could have a possible raise. So let's and you can also narrow it down by amount financed or high credit to amount financed, high credit, putting that in. These are all active accounts by default. So you just continue to narrow down the options until you find customers that from this report look like they might be eligible for raises. And then you go into the customer's account further. This just gives you a way of, with the original start of 885 customers, you would imagine that most of your customers are, each month they come in to pay, and then you evaluate the customer monthly for a raise evaluation. But say you're a supervisor overseeing, one or two or three or four loan stores, and you've told your managers the criteria for raises, and this allows you or the manager to come in and quickly look and see if there's any accounts that might match a certain criteria of history and how long ago they were raised and their high credit amount and the amount they finance, to see if any of them you might have missed giving a loan renewal or their loan renewal option. Many customers may reject the option, but if a customer has more money available to them, they might come in and take it. So the last card or report in the raise analysis is the high credit action options. Let's go ahead and run this report. What this report does is it gives you the customer account number, the loan date, the amount financed, the term, which is how long in months, how many times they've taken out the amount, their current high credit, and we have an action date. So the last time, what happens in this section is it will give you the last time there was an increase or a decrease in their amount financed. I'm sorry, their high credit. It'll give you the last time their high credit was increased or decreased. So let's go ahead and do this by date. And you'll see that a lot of high credits were decreased to zeros. If they were decreased to zeros, which you have the option of selecting, see all of them decreased to zeros. So anytime the high credit was decreased to zero, if it's done by user 99 or the API, this means that you've run daily mail and there's a cutoff list for people, and they were automatically down to zero because they haven't come in to pay or other automated reasons. That's the API or user 99. If it's a standard user, like for instance 52 here, this was a manual taking a customer from a high credit of 900 to zero, meaning that they originally had available $900 as their high credit. They've taken out a loan for 900, but more than likely they haven't been paying, which you can see over here, the history. They've got 2, 2, 2, 2, so they're upwards of 30, 31 to 60 days past due each time. So the decision was made to lower the high credit to zero because they're not paying on time, to keep the staff from giving them a loan renewal. Also, when you run daily letter, if they are also delinquent on their account a certain amount of time, which is set in your daily mail settings, it will automatically cut the account back to zero also. If you want to see any increases in high credit for the customers, all active customers, you run increases. So there's 169 customers who have an increase from a lower high credit amount to a higher high credit amount, and the date that it was done. Let's see decreases. So we have 6 customers that were decreased. Now this is decreased, but not decreased to zero. So this is a way for you to see which customers had their high credit lowered, but not lowered to zero. And it could be for various reasons. This was done automatically. Maybe they weren't necessarily doing well on the loan that they were on previously. So you want to lower the high credit so that you wait for them to make more payments for their account balance to get down before they would be eligible for a new loan. So these three areas allow you as the customer to evaluate the possibility of any client's loans that might be eligible for raise based on all of the options that were shown here. All reports allow for PDF export and CSV export of the data. And all column titles, if you just hover over them, they have pop-ups that give you a little bit more information about the column titles. And this is the same in all tables, and all reports work the same. If you click on any of the titles, all titles are sortable and searchable. If you come back here and we want to look at all and run the report again, the search option allows you to search for something specific, like say 500. And what will happen is the 500 is searched through all of the rows, all of the columns, all of the cells. So if it has a 500 in it in any column, it will return. So maybe something that would return with a little bit less is Williams, Williams. So this will give you all accounts with the word Williams in any of the rows. So if the word Williams was in another row, it would show up, but we have this last name Williams showing up 13 accounts. One row is selected. Keep in mind that if you select a row, that's all that will print. If you don't select any rows, then it will print all rows. You can also select multiple rows. I've got 5 selected here. If you go to print or CSV export, then it will export those 5 rows. To deselect them, just click on them a couple times and you've deselected those rows. Keep in mind that whatever you have selected or whatever you have in view, and we have this narrowed down to 13 of the 887 records, that amount will print. If we take this search away, then 887 entries will export to PDF or export to CSV. So this is the overview of the raise analysis report. It's very, very important to use it to evaluate if you can give raises to customers and get them in to refinance, renew their loan, and help continued growth of your company. Thank you very much. Have a great day.